Hey guys, thanks for listening to Kase and Mondays. We have the very funny Mr. Robert Dean on the podcast today. We had a lot of very fun conversations about the Elysium, number one. We talked about, eventually got to someone wanting to fuck someone's mom, which I really enjoyed that conversation. A wonderful man named Spider, who's a big Kiss fan, you guys will find out. And we talked about Robert's new album and doing comedy in front of people that do not care. This is a very fun episode. Take a listen. Bye.
Kase and Mondays. Kase and Mondays, case of the case of the case of the Mondays, case of the Mondays, case of the Mondays. His name's Kase and it's Monday, so you're about to listen to Kase of the Mondays.
Buddy, welcome. This is great.
Yeah.
Happy you're here.
No, I'm so happy to be here.
Guys, welcome Mr. Robert Dean, everybody.
Thank you. Hold your applause.
Very, very funny comedian. We're drinking a little Dunkin' Ice coffee. This is a
Really
working
nice.
class podcast, man.
Yeah, it
You know what
is.
I mean?
Yeah, it is.
We're not doing the Starbucks.
Podcast runs on Dunkin'. Are they sponsoring you?
I'm gonna kill myself.
This
All right.
feels blatant.
Yeah, man. We were just talking about like putting stuff online on like Instagram and stuff. But yeah, like I don't know, like you want to include the stuff that you like doing, but also it's like some of the stuff you're doing, you go, no one's gonna want to see this.
Right. Yeah, and well, I mean, especially if you focus on one thing, and I'm going to start with the plug. Robert B. Dean on Instagram.
Robert P.
follow
Dean,
me.
where can people find you? Yeah.
Please. All right, well, let's just start there. All right, I'm done with the podcast.
That's it.
I got out my plug.
We're just gonna put that in a loop for 45 minutes,
all
and
we
it's just
need.
gonna be Robert B.
Robert B. Dean.
Robert P.
Couldn't
Dean.
get Robert Dean.
I love working it in over and over again, and I'm like, oh, did you say it was Robert B.
Robert
Dean?
B. Dean on Instagram.
Yeah.
Well, I became an uncle 3 months ago.
Hey, congrats, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and like I got like so many pictures of the kid, me and the kid.
It's pretty cool.
And I know when he gets older, he's only gonna get cuter and funnier.
Were you?
But like now, what is my Instagram just gonna be my nephew?
Right.
I'm just an uncle. Why don't I have a kid? I need to have a kid.
That's
for
what
the content.
That
I want to be a father
for content alone. He was here. Should put that on someone's tombstone
I'm
one
gonna
day.
name my son content.
I don't know, man. I feel like that's a great thing to put, though. Isn't people like seeing stuff with kids?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I
And an infant, too. That's
I
great.
do need something else. I can't just be an uncle.
You can't just be an uncle.
I need other interests and hobbies.
What do you do?
Comedy.
What do you like? Yeah, exactly. You do comedy. I mean, that's a
know.
weird thing. We never do that. You never see people that follow comedians, like some of them do, but like, you know, there's a ton of times of stuff that you guys don't see. Maybe because it's just like people think it's boring. But it's like people think so many things are boring, and then they do it, and then you hear stories about people being like, oh no, that's great. We really like that. But
my
also
God.
like. In equal measure, like someone you could do it and people go, what is this? Why? Like, what is this? You stepping onto the stage? Like, it doesn't matter. No one cares. You self-aggrandizing fucking weirdo.
Oh, is it a boomerang of your friend on stage? Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Oh,
that.
there's so many of those. Yeah. But that's not even what I'm talking about. Like, so you do. You just
my boomerang impression.
You guys didn't see what Robert.
It's a visual.
Robert
I
did.
thought it was a visual
He did.
podcast. We got this guy with glasses and cameras on.
There's
me.
cameras all over the
There's
place.
this fancy light.
There's been cameras on him since he walked in.
Oh shit!
But I've never seen someone do an act out of a boomerang.
impression.
I think I actually did it on stage once as like an act out, and then I was like, all right, this is not going anywhere. I don't know. There's no.
Anytime
It wasn't
anyone
connected to
Instagrams
anything.
me, I always feel like I'm the stiffest performer in the world.
The second that happens, I always assume it's gonna be a boomerang, so I just move in a boomerang appropriate fashion. I'm like, here's my arm moving from here to here. This will be it. Hey guys, how are you? I'm a mannequin, and here
I'm
we
a
are.
lazy Susan. I'm a
Hey,
comedian.
yeah. Just
Right
an
to
ottoman.
left. Right to left.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's my problem.
Yeah, the kid's a good thing. So, like, we were
Kid's a
talking
great
about a
thing.
little thing. You were jokingly, right before we started recording, we were joking about something, and then you said, like, recording a Star Trek podcast. Like, I like Star Trek. I don't really talk about this before. I've never talked about it before.
Really?
I've watched every single episode of every series ever. And
Even Voyager.
I've watched Voyager, the whole series.
You couldn't
probably
tell. I don't know. I don't know much. That was the deepest pull I had.
That was a pretty good pull, man.
Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, all the deep spaces, dude. Nine,
There's
all the
of
nine.
them.
But I feel like as you talk about this, people immediately are just like they go, okay, that's a weird thing that you like. You know what I mean? And then they go,
Right.
it's such like it's a big world and people like it, but there's not like, I don't think it's just not a mainstream thing. So I just go, all right, I'm not going to talk about that. What do you do in your free time? You're like, I don't know, see what Catherine Janeway's up to and the Delta Quadrant. I don't know. Like you can't just like put your interests on people. That's why I get so jealous when people like sports. I go, this is great.
Yes.
Everyone likes this.
Yes, everyone can relate to it. But in a way, Star Trek is your sports.
Yes.
That's the thing, and we can talk about it. And I can go. I know about Q. I've seen Q episodes of TNG.
Yeah, the guy that's omnipotent. Yeah. The Next Generation. Right.
He's my favorite.
Yeah, I think it's really funny that people like the Next Generation so much. So Captain Picard, which is Patrick Stewart, who played Professor X and a million other things. The guy's amazing. He is coming back on the CBS All Access app.
I saw this.
It's called Picard. It's about him. And like something like their membership, it was literally just the word Picard and like an emblem. Mm-hmm. The second that came out, their membership went up like 600% for like CBS All Access because people like.
I'm shocked that it's behind a paywall. Like, wouldn't you like a show called Picard with him?
Right, it's literally just about him.
Why aren't they putting it on primetime?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
But I guess this is better for them.
This is what they're doing for the app. I mean, they have a stranglehold on people with certain things. Like, you really can't get it anywhere else. So, like, I caved. There was a show called Star Trek Discovery. I was on there, and I was like, I'll get it. Sure, I got some free time. You do comedy.
Yeah.
How long's a podcast?
Like
2 hours? An hour? Yeah.
Give them $5
How long's
a
a show?
month.
2 hours? I got 20 hours to kill.
Dive in,
Nothing.
man.
Yeah.
How is Discovery?
I liked it a lot. I
Yeah.
thought it was a good show. People hate it. It's so funny because it's like the show's really progressive, right? The whole show from the beginning of the show was progressive, right? They're like, oh my God, there's minorities in space. That's crazy.
Right,
because the 60s were insane, right? Or the 50s. I forget when the show came out. Don't kill me. And then this one's like, they have like, people like have like their gender identity is different and like their...
Alien identity?
Their alien identity is different. There's a gay medical officer that's in a relationship, and like, yeah, it's whatever. Like, there's openly gay characters on it now.
Nice.
And people like just don't. It's weird,
right?
Because people accept the fact that it's Star Trek. They're like, you know what? I like that it's in space. It's the future. I like all the technology. I don't know if I like all this gay stuff happening. Like they accept everything else, but they go, how would a woman be in charge of this Star Trek? Like, it's so crazy.
Janeway problem. Yeah.
And you go, I love that you called it the Janeway problem.
The Janeway problem.
Yeah.
The Janeway paradox.
For some reason, people kind of accepted her more, but they had this Michael Burnham character people had a problem with. And really just like, you start talking something and you kind of peek your head up and you go, oh yeah, does anybody know anything that we're talking about? Yeah, I just call myself. I go, I'm getting deep into this. But
Star Trek is in space?
It's in space.
Okay.
It's set in the future.
Pretty behind.
The show's essentially any of them. It's just people in the future doing stuff that's pretty cool because they're people and they figured it out.
Sure.
And everyone just kind of works together, and there's no money.
Yeah.
So there's no like crime or people trying to get ahead. Everyone's just trying to be. And if you want to be like a lazy person and just like do nothing with your life, you can.
Okay.
But everyone's just
nice.
like, you pick whatever you want to do, and then you just try and be great at it.
But you're in a ship, right? It's like a
if you want to be. So like the world.
A cruise ship. Oh wait, how many aren't in a ship?
There's the whole universe is in a ship. Only that's like the military.
But it focuses on the ship.
It focuses on the ship.
You don't go.
But
it's like the Love Boat. You don't see the ports.
Right.
It is
right.
the Love Boat.
It is
right?
the Love Boat. Yeah.
Space Love Boat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I understand Star Trek.
You get it now. Remember when Love Boat and Magnum PI came together? Who's old enough to remember that? Look, boss, the plane.
I don't even think I'm old enough to know that.
I remember that like when I was like a 2-year-old, not 2-year-old, like 3-year-old. I don't know.
Oh man, that was big for you.
I remember
defining moment.
I remember those like crossovers in television were huge when you were.
Flintstones, Jetsons.
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't it that like the Flintstones were living below the Jetsons? Like the Jets, because the Jetsons are on the stilts
that blew
above the clouds.
Blew my mind.
Underneath the clouds are the Flintstones.
Right, they're like the society that's advanced that takes advantage of the Flintstones. Like Fred goes to work every
like
day.
Elysium.
Yeah,
that movie that no one's seen that I reference way too often. By the way, thank you for having me.
I think you've had referenced that in the previous times.
I've said it so many times. I'm obsessed with it because it's the perfect metaphor for what's happening to New York. because there's all these Elysiums that are built. We're in an Elysium right now.
We are. Yeah. Everywhere in the city is like that. It's becoming like that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There was this thing I just saw recently. I don't ever really bring up anything super topical, but there was like this banking thing that happened in Eastern Europe where like this bank had like billions and billions of dollars of basically like money that wasn't it was laundered money basically, right? And this fucking one guy like found it, and you know it was on CNN, like the news, and he's like, yeah, I put this article I put this memo out to my boss, and they were like, what's going on? And the guy goes, oh, it's fine, just a mistake. And then he found more and more accounts, and he goes, this is like billions of dollars, and they wrote another memo. And the whole thing played out over the course of a year, to the point where you would go, oh, this is like crazy that this is exactly like your conspiracy theory, or you've seen too many movies, whatever. You go, they murder that guy, so he had to shut him up.
Oh yeah,
but like just nobody murdered him. There were billions of dollars on the line.
Kept going.
He just wrote another memo, and he goes, so is anyone gonna do anything about these billions of dollars that were just because they were coming in every day? He would find these companies that had zero like growth, and each day they had like a couple of 100 million coming in, and then going out within a few seconds. Because the guy goes, how many days would they be at the bank? He goes, that's very, over exaggeration. He goes, days. He's like, how many minutes? They come in and they come out, a couple million, $100 million, whatever. And then this guy basically took down like this whole other banking thing that happened. It's all from like Russia and stuff. And I think it was, I forget the country that the bank was in, but like the guy just did it on his own.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He just did it on his own. And then they were like, now the United States got involved because of the fraud or whatever, and that guy's gonna get like a fee because he did this for the United States. He's getting money.
I'm happy he's getting money.
He's gonna get like.
I'm happy he's getting money.
Because it's billions.
Like if you find a wallet, you want someone to give you the cash.
But if you find also almost $1 trillion of like laundered money
in a wallet,
he's gonna get like $30 million for doing this.
Good,
dude. He's just like a bank employee. It's crazy.
I would love it if like this led to a whole a wave of people now looking into bank fraud.
Yeah,
like, I'm almost thinking I can make $30 million. I'm just gonna look into it. I'm gonna Google anyone doing fraud. Yeah, just in case I find
you find just like here's trillions of dollars of transactions coming in and out, and it's
like,
so crazy.
Excuse me, U.S. government, I found one.
Yeah, so you're talking like, can I have some money, please?
Can I have some of this?
It's wild. I go, you don't have a hitman? I'm thinking from the point of view of like the gangsters, right? I go, you have billions of dollars that are going through this. Like it legit was billions, and they are like.
Maybe Hitman is just a Hollywood thing.
Maybe it is.
No one murders when it comes to
crime. This guy was
crime.
Just sitting there for a year, and they could have took him out.
Did they? I don't know if they knew.
Nobody murders.
No one murders. Murder is not real.
It's TV.
There's no scab. This is a Hitman.
Oh man,
you've just been watching.
Are you
TVs
telling me I've been
movies.
way too nice to people this entire time?
No one's gonna murder you.
Oh my god,
no one's gonna fucking murder you.
Damn it, I didn't know that.
It's never gonna happen.
It's like, yeah, dude, it's just all people you know getting angry at you. That's
they'll yell at you? Yeah, big deal.
Yeah.
Stop trying to be such a good boy and get yelled at by someone.
Oh, your voice got raised. I'm so scared.
I'm sorry, Don Giovanni.
But like those things, like the big everyone. If you live in New York, we have these giant skyscrapers. We have the what went up, that huge development project that was on 42nd Street or whatever.
Oh, on 34th Hudson Yards.
Yeah, and this is where
have you seen the map? It's my favorite thing.
It's beautiful.
They figured out a way to make it theoretically low-income house, like connected to low-income housing, right? So they were like, this is going to help. This is in a low-income neighborhood, which it's not.
It's not, no.
By the Javits Center. They drew a line across 34th, like up Broadway through Central Park, claiming Central Park is
a low-income area.
And technically it is.
Because
squirrels have no money.
Yeah.
Squirrels have very little money. If you live in the park, you're not doing well.
But it's New York. The squirrels are working. Come on.
Working squirrels.
This horse makes $50 an hour.
Although I think like maybe zoo employees are, I don't know.
Zoo employees aren't,
They're doing probably pretty well, but they figured this out, and then they drew it all the way up to like, deep Harlem to be like, look, it's connected to low income.
Oh, yeah,
and that's how they got away with
that's insane.
Building this like a straight up sci-fi mall. Like it just
yeah, it really does look.
So
if you guys haven't been
stupid.
to Hudson Yards, it literally does look like a sci-fi mall. It's wild, and they put all these
It's like, what if Star
beautiful
Trek
building.
included money? What if there was money in Star Trek?
That is what it looks
and
like.
It sucks.
Yeah, and
it
it's
sucks
horrific.
so much.
Because it brings the rent up everywhere. And the reason I brought up that whole banking thing is because a lot of these people... Now, I have a friend who's like, does private wealth investment. He's a very smart person. He's much older than me. He's a friend of my family. And
nice.
I talked to him about... I just threw him a text. I was like, hey, and we talked on the phone for a second. So I was like, yo, do you think like... how like all these oligarchs from Eastern Europe, because a lot of this money was Eastern European. You think of them buying all these like skyscrapers in Manhattan and putting their money here? I was like, do you think that's like they're doing that so we won't investigate their bank thing? And he's just like very soberly was like, absolutely not.
100%.
He goes,
there is no doubt about that.
No. He goes. That is you're watching too many movies. He's like, that is not connected. He goes, I 100% understand why you think that.
Oh yeah.
He goes, but it. He goes, no, that's just where they're putting their money. But you would think, right? You go, there's people, all these buildings are going up and people are spending like $30-40 million on apartments they're not living in.
It's very upsetting.
Yeah.
It's very upsetting how beautiful these buildings are and how many rooms are empty. But I have the same, I get mad at hotels all the same. Because there's no, even like Hotel Tonight, there's no like a $20 room.
Yeah.
Even though it's like, no one's in there.
No one's in there.
These beautiful buildings that are going up.
It's completely empty. If you guys walk around
empty.
New York City, 90% of the buildings are just empty now.
Completely empty.
Yeah. And you see storefronts now. And it's funny because like when did you move here? What year?
11 years ago, 2008.
Okay. Yeah, great. So
What was that reaction?
This is the same time I moved.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you saw the same thing I
You were
saw.
like talking down to me.
Oh, absolutely not.
If you were 12 years, I could even 12 years, I could see you being like 11. Yeah, nice.
Oh,
you'll become a New Yorker soon.
So you just got here, huh? Hey, welcome to New York, pal. Huh? This guy just stepped off the bus. Huh? What a sweet kid.
I'm wearing a Metro card hat.
Buddy, here's a quarter. Go get me a paper. You know what I mean? Go talk to the squirrels. I got something that I want to tell you. I've been in the city for about the same exact time. You saw all these storefronts. They're gone. They're gone. They're just empty buildings now.
It's unbelievable.
It's so funny. I have all right, I'm a fun, nice guy. I make friends with people. When I get coffee
you having
places,
to
I
say
talk,
that
I
proves
talk to
you're
them.
not. Proves?
I just feel embarrassed being like, I'm friends with the people at my deli. You know what I mean? But
you're not friends.
well, we talk. I go in and then I have
You're
like
a human being who's social. I get it.
I could also
Some
be
people,
leaving.
You could also not do anything.
I overstay my welcome for sure.
Oh, okay. You're one of those guys.
I'm talking to them for a little bit. I go, how's your
Step back
kid?
from the cashier.
Yeah.
Other people go through while you're standing there. Oh,
And I'm
I know
still
you.
talking.
I know you
I got
now.
my coffee. This is
That's
how I get
12 years in New York.
Exactly. I get 13 years. You just go. So your daughter's single? What's going on?
So do I work here?
Yeah. Can I get a
Can I
job
work here now?
So I'm talking to these people, and also by the way, this is how if you guys want to know how you get free coffee and sandwiches, is you just you have a relationship with your deli, your bodega people.
Absolutely.
They're telling me they're like so one of my favorite places. It was this place called Spring Mart, and it was on by the 6th train off Spring Street. Right as soon as you get off the 6th train, it's right there. And the family there was super nice. They're like a Chinese family, and the whole family like worked there, like the older members of the family. And I also talked to them, and they were like, yeah, the rent got put up. And I go, oh, how much is rent for like a place in New York, by the way? And they're like, we pay about $12,000 a month. And I go, wow, which is crazy to me, but it was a very busy deli. I go, okay.
Yeah.
And then they go, I go, what did it get brought up to? They go, $65,000 a month. And I go, that's so much money.
And that's it. And
I go, I'm so sorry. They're like, yeah, it's kind of a lot, but they kind of reacted like, yeah, we can handle it, but like hopefully. And I go, how much money are you making at this deli, right? And then the landlord raised the rent again to $175,000 per month.
So,
which is just get out.
That's it. Yeah. That's I want you to leave.
That's just dating someone and being like, look, I'm fucking other people. You don't have to break up with me, but just so you know, I'm fucking 175,000 other people. And if you want to break up with me, you can, but I'm not going to break up with you.
Right.
Yeah. You can stay as long as you want. As long as you're cool with me having sex with 175,000 people.
So they're gone now.
They're gone. It's a Joe and the Juice, baby.
But also like
the Germans came. Yeah, right in there.
Joe and the Juice is German?
Oh yeah, big old European company.
I'm fine with that.
The Germans, yeah.
I'm totally fine with that.
They're literally just tattooed
I'm not gonna
German
boycott
dudes in there.
Oh, really?
Especially, well, now they probably hired people from New York or whatever, but
Yeah.
like for the most part, for like a long every new Joe and the Juice, if you go in there, it's all European people.
Interesting.
Mostly
I've gone
German, yeah.
I've gone twice.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. It was way too
It's not
expensive.
bad.
Way too expensive.
It is a nightclub. It is not a coffee shop.
It is a night. It's a fun
crazy.
nightclub. I like it though.
It's just like pumping loud dance music.
See, hold on. I have a question about this deli.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So rent goes up, and
Yeah.
they're like, "All right, we'll spend $4,000." Like we were spending.
Because what they did is the guy bled them out for
Right.
a little bit to
Right.
pay the $65,000.
Yeah.
They're like, let me get what I can get a lot, and
Right.
then
And
because
then
he
get
knows,
out.
right? So what
But
happens in
what's-
New York?
What's the idea of the deli guys? And I know this is my own problems of like I have these dreams and goals to one day get better my situation. If you're in a deli,
someone's been in therapy. Keep going.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
great.
I gotta go back to therapy. My God, do I ever? But if I always like, okay, you're a deli in New York, and you're watching everything change around you. You're obviously
wild.
gonna
Yeah.
start making less money. You're not gonna like franchise.
But this was like
your
a
deli.
very busy place. I don't know.
Your profits, I assume, stagnate. You know, especially if rent goes up, then your profits go
Yeah, of
down.
course, yeah.
You're not going to better. I mean, I hope maybe you remodel, you get a new awning, you put some money.
No, but this
into
is
it.
just like how much nicer are they going to get? They had like a buffet and they had people coming and getting sandwiches.
Yeah.
Like, what is going to be? You're a restaurant that's as busy as you can be. I mean, the only thing you do is really like
maybe
make
when
the prices a
Jewel,
little bit more.
Jewel Pods came out, they were like, "Oh, this is going to be big for us," and maybe it was. Or like a new
split
lottery, a
second.
new scratch off. Maybe they get real hot about a new scratch off, and they're like, "Oh, this is going to bring in a lot of money."
Yeah.
And then they get you.
For a split second, I thought you meant the singer-songwriter Jewel.
A new Jewel album's out. They just have that on the
Sheryl Crow is
cashier.
selling like hotcakes.
Do you want Samurai X, Sex Pills, or the new Jewel album?
Yeah.
It'll get you hard. They'll both get you real
hard. Yeah. Samurai X. I've seen that.
Samurai X or Tiger X.
Yeah, so I haven't. I've never bought any of those, but
You've never fucked with a sex pill?
So my cousin, when we were, I don't know, a couple of years ago, I might have said this story before. It really made me laugh really hard because he was like 15 years old.
Oh God.
The woman behind
Oh,
the counter
God.
wasn't having it.
Oh God.
She was like, a grown woman that's probably my aunt's, his mom's age.
Okay.
And he goes, these pills, they make it bigger. But what if it's really thin? And the woman just shook her head. And me and the guy behind me all just started laughing. And it was just like, he's 15, you know? He did it on purpose to be a little shit, you know?
I love it.
It's great.
That teenage fucking
What do you
bullshit.
do if it's really thin? And like, everyone just looking at him like he really called attention to himself. Yeah.
But that is
Never got the sex pills. No, I haven't tried it yet.
You haven't tried it?
The Tiger, yeah.
I was really afraid you were like, when the one day me and my 15-year-old cousin, we just took a bunch of sex pills together.
And no, he wasn't.
And seen.
He's never been seen since. Also, I'm on them now. That's why I started every podcast, man. A couple of Tiger. Yeah.
Let's do this.
A couple of samurai blades.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so the deli, they're out. They're gone. And
Yeah.
I have a friend that was like, just like odd job, like real estate person. And they're like, yeah, these stores, when they go, if you are in New York and you go walk around and you go, how can that store afford to just be empty?
Right.
They can afford to be empty because companies that are like big corporations, they can afford for, I think they said up to 11 years. If no one's there for 11 years, on the 11th year, if somebody like Dwayne Reed comes in, they're still making a ton of money.
That's it.
Because Dwayne Reed will pay like $150,000 a month for rent because they don't care. They want the real estate because they want people to see Dwayne Reed. They're not worried about making money.
Right.
And that's a weird thing is like these corporations have enough money where a lot of their stores don't actually make money. They're just there so people see them when they come to New York.
Oh, sure.
So they're like placards.
Oh, yeah.
The whole thing's an advertisement.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, that's wild. Like they're spending all this money. So again, like more of an Elysium. Like, like you aren't having like people living there and they're just walking around and just like, all right, that's,
There's a guy who lives outside my building I live in Queens. And there's a guy who he doesn't live outside the building. He lives in the building, but he sits on the stoop all the day.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy who is always working on a motorcycle that I don't think will ever run. You know the guy.
Yeah. I know the exact guy you're talking about.
His name is Spider.
Wow.
And
All right.
he's been
a little too spot on.
Oh, very spot
way
on.
too spot on.
Extremely spot on.
Guy grew up in Queens.
He has been living there since '79, and I know that because in the sidewalk.
Sounds like he grew up in Brooklyn and moved to Queens. Yeah, that was the big move.
No, he finally made it at the age of 5. He made it across the bridge. He in the sidewalk. Because he dated it. I know. When he moved, because he dated in the sidewalk, his sidewalk graffiti, he wrote "Kiss #1 Disco Sucks." He wrote both of those things twice in the sidewalk, and he's very proud of it. He's very proud of this. So there was like one time people were taking a picture of graffiti above it, and he goes,
"Kiss #1."
He goes, "Why don't you take a picture of my art? Take a picture of my art. That's my art." And I'm like, "Oh!" And he lives by that sidewalk. Can you imagine something you did in 1979?
Right.
Like it's like a picture of that you drew as a child.
Yeah.
Like
And
I don't know.
Still into it?
I think. Well, okay. So he doesn't.
You're still touring off it? Yeah.
I don't think. I don't know if his opinions.
I told
on
that joke in
disco have
79. What's the
changed.
problem?
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if he still thinks disco sucks. Kiss may not be #1 to him anymore.
Yeah.
Because I try to avoid him. I try not to talk to him. But there were cameras on me at one point, and he was like. And I was like, I don't know. It was a documentary thing I was filming. So
talk about that for really quick.
It was
Amazon, for the Amazon.
Prime.
Yeah,
They
that's
filmed
pretty
me
cool.
for like 6 months. It was really cool.
It was really cool. I saw it. Yeah, it was awesome.
Unbelievable experience to go through. Just having cameras, And they were like, all right, now sit on the stoop and eat your banana and look all sad because it's hard to be a comedian.
If you guys haven't watched this doc, it's so. Robert, you're so funny. You're alone in the store.
Oh, I'm still there.
Is so hilarious.
Thank
You're just the man just sitting there. It was great. I really enjoyed it.
I have this very strange day job where I'm a furniture salesman.
Inside Jokes.
Inside
Yeah,
Jokes.
if you guys haven't seen it, check out Inside Jokes. So funny, and so interesting too. I didn't think I was like, I thought it was gonna be like more of what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of more of like people's like lives outside, and they did a good job of telling a story.
It was amazing.
Good,
Yeah, they got enough footage. They filmed us
for a long time,
like 6 months, and it felt constant, right? And then just hours and hours a day of footage. And at one point, they cut the spider footage,
You're a
which
good
is
guy,
very
man.
upsetting. What?
You're a good guy.
Thank you.
If they did that, I feel like at some point I would say something douchey. Just to get myself pumped before I got on stage. I'm like, dude, I would like once in a while,
Time to go crush.
Exactly. I'd be like, all right, they're ready for, because you're just, it's a joke, but it's also like you're amping yourself up sometimes. And this is a thing I do once in a while, every single time. And
You're shadow boxing.
Yeah, but I was just like, wow, I'm surprised you didn't have one thing where they were like, wow, this guy's a real fucking wow. Because people don't understand when they don't
I
do
was
it.
so aware of every time the camera was on me, right? And I was trying to push this narrative of I don't give a shit.
You didn't do any of your jokes where you yell the N-word the whole time.
I know.
Yeah,
well, I
that was
decided
weird.
not to.
Because the cameras
I
are on
changed
you.
the act.
Yeah.
I totally changed the act.
It's like 60% racial slurs are out of your act. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but
That's crazy.
It was a tough balance.
He doesn't have any. Okay.
I don't have any. I'm a clean comedian. So that brings me to my spider story.
Uh-huh.
So I'm a clean comedian. So I'm outside sitting there looking sad. They're like, what does comedy mean to you? Would you be happy if you don't get JFL? Like, would you be happy in life? And I was like, I kept being like, of course I will. Like comedy, it's like, it's something I've wanted to do 20 years. I've been doing it, God knows how long after that. This is my 8th year auditioning for JFL. Like, I'm comfortable in new skin, and I'm happy. I'm gonna be happy regardless.
Right.
Like, I want to believe that. I believe that. And so they were like pushing, like, can you please like raise the stakes? They're like, this is like, that's not a movie or a TV show.
Right.
If you're like, yeah, whatever. Ho hum, go do comedy again. I know how to do this. I've been doing it for long enough. They're like, can we please like up the stakes?
That's okay. That's
so they kept like
interesting.
pushing me. So
they
hours,
go, dude, you got to be more upset about this.
Yeah.
And you
Can
got to
you
be like,
please-
if I don't make it,
can you please say you care? Can you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, fine, I care. I care so much. And then they use that, and I'm like, oh, that's so douchey. I hate that. They never use me going like, JFL doesn't matter.
Right.
But because
this is the biggest thing that's ever happened in my life.
which it was.
I have a nephew. It doesn't matter. What matters is JFL.
I'm an uncle now.
It's so funny. People, because it doesn't matter. Like me and you have both seen, and how many people they surpass the need for the festival and then
Yes.
get invited later. in like a very, very nice way, and you're like, well, that's the thing is afterwards people don't go, well, you didn't have me when I was like a struggling comic. Right. Now that I'm doing great, now you want me. Everyone just goes, oh yeah, thanks, I'll do it. Yeah, it looks good. And you go, yeah,
great.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. It was and there were really fun shows. And obviously, like with the cameras on, there was added pressure to like almost to get it and to do well at it. So it was actually, it turned out to be great. But I really wanted to like kind of counteract what they were giving me. I kind of wanted to play, be honest, because I was also like, comedians are going to be the ones watching this.
Yeah,
and a lot of random people have also watched it. A lot of non-comedians, and but I also wanted to be like as honest as I could, and be like, this doesn't make or break, and
you don't want some like comic that's like new. Not that we care so much, but
the whole
you don't want some guy being like, oh, that's the truth, and then you go, no, it's not. Right. You basically like mentally fucking up some new person that's like you don't need to.
Right.
Like what's important about comedy? Like, dude, comedy's about two things: laughs and JFL, and not caring about your nephew.
Climb the ladder. Yeah. You don't have a family no more.
Yeah, done. That's it.
The green room is your family. Get out of here. But it was also like I was going through therapy. I just moved out of a basement. Like my life was changing in dramatic ways. So I was also like, whoa, life's incredible.
I just moved out of a basement. It's great.
It was a very interesting time. So anyway, to Spider, I have to tell this. So I'm sitting there on the stoop. They're filming me, and Spider comes up to me and he goes, "Oh, what are they filming?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a documentary about me being a comedian." And he goes, "Oh, are you like Andrew Dice Clay?" Of course he asked that.
I 100% was going to guess that, yeah.
And then I go, "Oh, actually, well, no, I'm actually like a pretty clean comic." And he goes, "Oh, like Bill Cosby?" And I was like, "Oh, please don't make that connection." Great. And then he goes, "I don't think he did anything."
Because for a second you go, "Yo, he must not have been up with the times."
Maybe he's not caught up.
Yeah.
But I go, "Oh, no, he definitely did. He did all those things."
Yeah.
No, you're wrong, Spider. I just say that. And then he's like, "Oh, who do you like?" And I said Kase Rasso, etc. And he's like, "Oh, I'm a big fan of his too." And
he's like, "I'm his number one fan.
I love it."
I was gonna tell you, Spider.
Kase and
He comes to every single show, sits in the front. He goes, "My motorcycle's looking pretty good, kid."
We're getting there. One day we'll ride it. So I like tell him like, "Oh, this is who I like," and he goes, "Never meet your idols." He goes, I one time met Kiss."
Oh yeah,
and he's like, "I don't know, I'm a fan of Kiss," and I was like, I wanted to be like, "I know, I know you think they're number one."
Yeah, I've seen the graffiti that you're very proud of for like 100 years.
You love it. So then he goes, he's like, "I met them and they were jerks to me."
Really?
They were jerks to me. So don't. And I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that."
Yeah.
And then he like kind of like got distracted and walked away. But I've laughed the hardest imagining the situation where he somehow gets backstage and he's like, Mr. Simmons, hello, my name is Spider. If you walk down my block, I wrote in the sidewalk, Kiss number 1, disco socks. I believe that. And Jesus was like, "Thank you very much."
Yeah.
And also like,
security, why is this man back here?
How many men named Spider like us? Like, why is this our demographic? Like, where did we fuck up? We're men in costume Halloween makeup.
Yeah, he goes, which Spider are you? I've lost the ability to keep track.
We know a lot of spiders.
Yeah, all our fans are named Spider.
Excuse me, Mr. Starman.
Mr. Starman. He has another name than everybody.
Mr. Starman.
I'm a huge
Spider.
fan. Yeah.
That's Mike. But maybe Spider maybe his Kiss name.
Yeah.
Because I think if you're a big kid, you would have to adopt one.
Oh, you mean you got webs and like you swing around the city and save people?
No, like I paint a spider on my face when I go see the band. They're playing Barclays, and I'm guessing it's not Kiss's final time because I'm sure they've done like, this is it, we can't do it anymore many times. Yeah. But theoretically, this is the final tour, and they're playing Barclays. Oh, really? And I've wanted to ask Spider if he's going.
You should take him.
I should take Spider.
It's going to be a wild evening. You go with Spider. How much money? It's probably a lot of money though.
It'll probably be a lot of money, but I'll pay for it for him. I don't like him. He's an unpleasant man who thinks Bill Cosby is innocent. So I don't know if I want
like,
to
this
make
guy's
that.
Entire identity is that Bill Cosby is innocent. That's all
His
he
number
does.
one,
Yeah.
disco sucks, and Bill Cosby's innocent. Like if he had graffiti the sidewalk, it would just say
That would be
now.
great. I mean, that's wild. I love when people have like those wild like opinions and they just lead with it.
Yeah.
That would be great if he.
Oh, he doesn't give a fuck.
Nah,
he's
his
been
name's
sitting
Spider.
in front of that same building for 40 years. He has seen his whole life, everything change around him.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Everything.
We were talking about that recently. So, I think I like Jim Norton. Like, he posted his Tonight Show clip.
Yeah.
Did you see that? So the
yeah.
Tonight Show clip essentially he goes, I'm paraphrasing the joke, but the bare bones of it is just basically like I'm in a long-term relationship. I'm having erection difficulties. We have different ideas as to what's going on with it. She thinks it's whatever the hell she says, and then I think it's her weight. And then she something me get on the treadmill, you monstrosity. And I was just like, I saw that and I was like, wow, like because talking about things is changing. I go, I was like, oh, I can't believe that was on television. That was
Right.
wild.
Yeah.
Because today you go this is just this is rough. I mean, it's not calling somebody a monstrosity. It wasn't where it could have been mean and like really mean. I thought it was where he says monstrosity,
That's
which is
pretty
kind of
bad.
a funny like crazy thing to say.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
go,
yeah.
all right, fine, it's a joke then if you say monstrosity.
Right.
But like it's really easy to just be you fat bitch. Yeah.
You whale.
But yeah, you go. It's crazy how much stuff has changed. You see, you
Oh
saw
my
that.
God, everywhere. Yeah. I mean, it
was
really.
wild.
I mean, everything. And like, how old are you?
36.
You don't have to admit to it.
I don't care.
Okay.
What are they gonna stop me? My fucking two-line auditions
you
for
do look
Law and Order.
You look
Why do you think
extremely
I
young.
care?
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks,
And
bud.
I'm sure you get that all the time. Whenever you
I
get
don't-
carded to
I
buy a
don't-
scratch off, I'm sure they're
I
like,
don't get carded for that, pal.
they're like,
let me
oh,
tell you.
you're so wow. You look so great. You look
Wow.
so. Well, okay,
Drink a
so
lot
we
of water.
were teenage. I'm 33. We were teenagers around the same time.
Yeah.
When that late 90s, man, we were crazy.
Yeah, all the stuff that you see now, you go, wow, like what we saw growing up was very different.
It was
okay.
it was very rebellious. A lot of, I mean, also I'm not sure if this is just like when you're a teenager, boobs are everything, but I feel like there were more boobs. You know, like Stern, like this is the new Stern, and
Well,
I'm
it was
surprised
like-
you haven't asked me to flash you yet.
Yeah.
And we are on camera.
This is
going on E. Is this on E at 11?
This is gonna be on E, guys.
Are people jerking
you
off to this?
Can you flash the camera, please? This
All right,
is-
we're following.
We need ratings, guys.
Stay tuned for Wild and On with Brooke Burke, you horny teens.
So it turns out instead of hot women, we have 33-year-old men bearing their chests on the show. Yeah. Which is what the people want.
Bearing their souls. Yeah, no.
In their bosoms.
It's a new world.
Yeah.
It's a new world.
Yeah, Howard Stern used to throw deli meat at girls.
Yeah, now he's just
Yeah.
complaining about being old and talking about how Robin
He's like,
poops.
I'm a really, more of an interviewer now. I don't know who that young Howard was. And he, it's crazy. Like he really just like has completely turned a 180 on like what his whole thing was.
Absolutely. It's incredible. And then I
Really has to
believe-
change with the times.
I can't wait till he goes back. Because I do believe
You
I
think
do
he'll go
believe in a
back
bit of a
after
pendulum
Beth
swing.
Ostrowski leaves him.
Yeah.
And he just goes all
Then
the way
he's-
back.
Then when Fart Man comes back and they make a Fart Man movie.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
All the
That's
way.
gonna be the sign when we have returned to the opposite side.
To the opposite side.
And I
Oh,
do
so we're talking
think-
about the pendulum swinging back now. Yeah. Do you think that? I see a couple things, but it's all done where like you go. This is less like politically correct stuff that's
Yeah.
popular, but it's still done in like a way that's like you're like, all right, like this is fun. One of my favorite old bits is Geraldo's, where he talks about the older lady giving birth. And she's like a 65-year-old
Yeah.
woman gave birth
Uh-huh.
recently, and he goes, man, I don't know what makes you gay, but sucking on a 65-year-old nipple can't help. And I go, that's
Right.
great.
That's
But
great.
that's like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a funny joke, and there's no like problem. But I'm
Right.
saying stuff like that, you go, that's fine.
Yeah.
And it's, what
Well,
do you-
I have this theory that racist Asian impressions
oh yeah,
are gonna make a comeback.
I don't think so.
You don't
really?
think so?
You think who's gonna do
The
it?
pendulum's gonna swing back.
Okay, give me who I don't know if it'll go that far back though. That's wild.
Like, how many bits were there? Like, you ever call a Chinese restaurant?
Oh,
I mean, there's a million of those, and I think those died off for good reason. It's racist and inappropriate, but I think there might come someone's gonna come out let's say 30 years down
Dude,
the
I
line.
honestly don't
and be
care.
like, do you ever call a Chinese restaurant? And people will be like, that is what it sounds like when I call a Chinese restaurant.
Right. It'll go so far and it'll be so good for so long that like once someone does it again, it won't even be mean-spirited.
Right.
Like what we think of as a racist thing, they'll just be like, no, that's just what it sounds like. What's
Right.
your problem? And
Yeah.
you go, nothing. I'm just old and I grew up in a whole weird time where everything changed.
Really, everything changed.
And everything's just like, now this is crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what the kids are doing now, and I try to keep up. You know, I learned what Fortnite was, and
That
you
is
know,
what
I'm
the
like,
kids are
hip.
doing.
I'm hip. Kids are
Hip.
playing Fortnite.
Your,
Yeah,
your nephew's on Fortnite right now.
yeah, he's playing. He's
all he
3
does.
months old, and I'm sticking him with Fortnite, and
Yeah.
even he's like, "Uncle, that's so old." He's like,
He calls
Fortnite
you
is so
uncle.
dead. Uncle,
You're like Robert.
Uncle.
He's like Uncle.
uncle,
That is your name.
uncle.
I'm not gonna call you anything else.
Excuse me, uncle. He didn't smile. He just smiled at me. It took 3 months for him to smile. I didn't know newborns were so fucking boring. And like, it's just like shitty, like no reaction. I'm performing for him. I'm really trying to get him to smile, trying to get him to smile. He wasn't smiling. He finally
Keys?
smiled.
What'd you do?
You know, Goo Goo Gaga and
Goo Goo Gaga.
and I also bought him a
Goo
toy.
Goo Gaga has been crushing for 2,000
It's so
years.
good.
Yeah.
There's a reason. It's got the right
Yeah.
beat, the right tonality. I also bought him a toy iPad, which
Oh,
my
okay.
sister-in-law hates that he has now. But I'm trying to
What
get
is
him
just
up.
big giant pictures show up on
And
it?
you
What does the
just-
kid do with
It
a
ju-
toy iPad?
Oh, it's just a button thing that plays
Oh,
songs.
okay, that's cute.
It's adorable.
Yeah.
But I also want to, I got to be the one to. My sister-in-law and my brother are like, he's not going to have tech, and I'm like,
Right.
this kid is going to be beaten up every day.
Yeah, but
by the robots.
He'll figure it
has
out
to,
too. Like
he's going to
gonna
have to
see it.
fight robots. He's 3
Yeah.
months old now.
We're not gonna have actual robots.
He is going to have to deal with robots.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally,
Controlled by rich people, probably.
Ideally, he'll be like, in a loving relationship with one. He'll be friends with others.
He'll be dating a
I'm
robot.
Hoping,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm hoping it's not a cantankerous relationship.
Yeah.
But if I know anything from movies and TV, they're
It's-
going to be
it's not gonna
pissed
work
at
out,
us,
yeah.
and it's not going to work out. And he's going to have to fight them like the Terminator. So if he's unaware of anything,
I love the Terminator. Good going.
Anyway.
I have to say that every time someone brings it up.
when he didn't smile, I was really worried that he was going to be a humorless person.
Oh, that's so nice.
And I was really afraid he's going to be like,
I-
Uncle, I don't find you humorous.
I honestly was. I thought you were gonna say autistic, but that's great. Yeah.
Humorless and
Yeah.
autistic. I mean, they're
I
all
thought
the
you
spectrum,
were gonna be
I
like,
guess.
yeah. Is he just not like me, or
Is he just...
my bombings are a problem?
I mean, it's what's scary with a baby. You don't know.
You don't know, yeah,
You
you
don't know
don't
what he's
know,
going to
yeah.
turn out to be.
Yeah,
I
that's
hope
true.
good. I really
true.
hope good. He's smiling
Yeah,
now,
of
so it
course.
seems like he has humor.
You're a good
and
uncle.
Can smile. I'm a great uncle.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach him the ways of the things uncles teach.
Yeah, it's funny. You remember the things. I don't know how many other people have this, but like I have like these like little things that like people like my uncles and aunts did for me that like I always remember. You know,
Right.
Like, I have an uncle that bought me a Super Nintendo, and I
Huge.
like never forgot that for some
Yeah.
reason because it's not your mom and dad, you know, so it's like
Right.
special. And I
Yeah.
always like, it's been like 20 years, and I still go, thanks for my Super Nintendo.
Absolutely.
And I go, he goes,
really
oh, I
meant a
love you.
lot.
He's like, no problem. And I go, I really like it though. Thank you. I
That's
really
so-
enjoyed it.
I don't
I
know
played
how to tell
Teenage
you
Mutant Ninja
this.
Turtles on it. Like all my dreams came true at that
changed
moment.
my life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
amusement parks, trips to Six Flags with my uncle. That was like,
That's great.
Come on, I can't wait to do that with my nephew now. He's too young now, but I'm already like, we're going to Disney World. He's coming.
You're
to
hanging
New
out with your
York.
nephew. Like, all right, you're calling a Chinese food restaurant.
Okay,
What do they
you
sound
think
like?
what do you think Chinese restaurants sound like when you call them on the phone?
Oh man, I can't wait till I go.
He is a clean slate. He knows nothing.
I
of
read
this.
something about this a long time ago, and someone said like, because it's not something I spent too much time thinking about, you know, because
Right.
you're just doing comedy. And again, when we're talking about all that stuff, I don't care, man. If it's funny, great. And if it's not, and like what you're doing is like racist or whatever, like someone will come in and be like, "Fuck you, man," you
Yes.
know, and
Yeah.
like it'll go away. So like whatever. But yeah, they were saying like if you laugh at the idea of if you're laughing at the accent more than like what's the situation or what the person's happening.
That
You know
makes
what I mean?
sense. Yeah, right. Absolutely.
And
you
you're
don't
shitting on
want
the
that.
person for not being able to speak English in the accent as opposed to just doing their accent.
Right.
Which is a very like weird fine line for people that are doing accents. You're like, no pressure, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I mean,
So I called this Indian lady.
Blackface?
Hush falls all over the crowd. You called an Indian lady. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I remember that, like people saying jokes like that, watching it in comedy shows, and people being like, "What? She just?" And then sometimes they'll just do a regular. What? You guys thought she was gonna have an accent?
Right,
You guys are
exactly. Oh
racist.
my God, yeah. That's when it started. We're like teasing that.
Yeah.
And I'm so bad at accents. I shouldn't try any. Like I was doing there's this woman I work with in the furniture store, and she got hired to be the marketing director of this stupid furniture company that I hate very much, and. In her interview, she told the owner, she goes, you should get, I got to get into the Southern voice. She's like, y'all, you should get Banksy to paint a bench. That was her idea. And I was so afraid my boss was going to turn around and be like, Robert, get me Banksy on the phone. I was like scared. But even in trying to do her Alabama impression, I feel it feels wrong. Like I shouldn't even do that. You know, cause I'm not good at it.
You just went full British.
I am. Oh, I'm a southern lady.
I can't do I can't do an accent, and then I try and do an accent because a lot of it just being like, yep, I'm gonna pretend I'm confident, and then it'll come out normal. And I've done it, and it's been fine. And then I've also just horrifically
Which ones do you do?
it.
You do a good.
I've done an Irish one before.
Well,
I think that's the only
not
one.
bad. That's
and
not
then
you do a good.
you have one?
You do a good Mexican.
No,
stereotype?
I don't do a Mexican.
No?
Imagine I did a Mexican.
See, now can I do an impression of Speedy Gonzalez?
Yeah.
Good. I'm not going to, but
Yeah,
as
yeah.
long as you think I can.
Yeah, I guess it's a legit. If you're doing an impression of that character, I don't know.
Right.
I mean, who cares, man? You just do whatever you want, whatever's funny.
Well, I mean, with mostly Speedy Gonzalez. My new act is just going to be me doing the Looney Tunes. I think the pendulum's swinging on the Looney Tunes. Looney
We gotta go
Tunes are
back.
coming back. Well, Space Jam's coming out. Let's get psyched.
When people,
Let's get ready.
Great movie.
Huge.
When people get like, oh man, should I police myself like what I'm gonna do accent? It's like, yeah, I don't know, man. Just fucking if your brain naturally thinks that way, then
Right.
then maybe you are a crazy person, and then I don't have to worry about that. I just go whatever I think's funny, and then whatever I think is funny somehow turns out not to be racist.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or whatever. Whatever it would be.
That's the stand-up mindset, I think, that you just gain, where it's like, I think this is funny, and then you tell people, and if they don't think it's funny too, you go, okay, that's not funny. I'm wrong.
Right.
And then that's it. It's just, it's that process of like, hey guys, I think this is funny, and they go no, and you go, okay, not funny.
Thanks, guys.
I'm wrong. I'm constantly wrong. I can't trust myself without the audience feedback. But like also you can, when you feel like I don't think that's very funny, I think that's inappropriate, I don't think I should say that, I'm rarely like doubling down on that. I'm rarely going up to an audience being like, hi, I don't think this is funny, but do you?
Yeah.
Unless that's the new way I should start writing. Maybe I should start writing to not be funny, and
It
maybe
depends
it'll
what
be
show
good.
you do. Isn't that a thing? Sometimes some shows you go, I can do whatever I want here. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because people will go so much further than you, and you go, all right, well that guy's doing like full on just like abortion jokes.
Yeah.
I can do this now. This
Yeah.
is just like a fucking crowd. And then other times you're in a room with like young people that are like, that's a little problematic, the point of view that you're giving the bottle in your joke.
Yeah. Oh, that bottle.
Because that bottle isn't
you don't know that bottle?
shampoo bottles aren't men necessarily. You don't have to just assume. And you go, all right, man. I don't even know what's
I want to hear
happening
that
right
joke
now.
where you made a shampoo bottle a guy.
I just made it up.
Okay,
All right.
shampoo's male,
Yeah.
conditioner's female.
Yeah, sure. Soap, a body wash has got to be female, I would think.
Depends on the bottle.
So depends on the Axe.
The Axe.
Yeah.
That Old Spice.
Yeah.
2-in-1.
Yeah.
Did you ever use 2-in-1?
No, I don't do the 2-in-1. I don't.
It changed. When I was in the basement. Someone changed my life in a lot of ways. She came in and was like, we went to Duane Reade together, and she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, good idea.
Is it a woman you're dating?
It was at the time.
Okay.
Because I was doing the.
Congratulations.
I was like, ooh, shampoo and body wash.
Oh.
It's 2-in-1. Look at this. I'm saving time and energy. And then she's like, you know what? I think you should separate the two things. So then I got soap and shampoo, and then I got a conditioner, and I'm like, it was one of the many things that changed my life.
Yeah, it's because
I wasn't showering with a hose.
It's a smoothie.
There's no reason to use
it's a smoothie. You're like,
2-in-1.
oh my god, I can drink my food.
Exactly.
You're like, wow, this is amazing.
Wow. And then you're like, like, oh right,
You're right.
there's something to chewing.
Right. Like sometimes like
There's
I like
an
both.
appeal
It'll be
to
different.
chewing.
Some days I want to do this. Some days I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be that like, future where everything is just taken care of for me. Like you just take this one pill and it's all your food and
Well, we're talking about that and the robots and stuff, and Elysium, like that there are these robot arms that do. I read about this not that long ago. Like so they're not going to be around too soon, but these robot arms that are essentially going to have uploaded like really easy medical procedures, like an appendectomy, like where they take your appendix out. And I saw it on CNN, and I was like, how is this not on CNN every day? This is crazy. Like robots are going to be doing surgery. So they're going to take these gloves, put them on these surgeons, and like record their movements of like a couple. They're going to have each one do a couple thousand surgeries, and they're going to do a couple, like 1 million doctors or something, right?
Right.
And then this is like every possible thing that can happen during this really simple procedure, and then these robots can do like 4 of them at the same time, overseen by one doctor, right?
Yeah.
And this has a lot of problems because it's people's lives and yada whatever.
Yep.
But they were like, you know what we could do this for? Food. So they're just for doing it with like chefs. So you can like come home. It's going to cost like $14,000 or something like that, they said. And then you could just be like, I want Mario Batali. Well, not Mario Batali. He's gone. But I want Gordon Ramsay to make me chicken parm.
Yeah.
And then you just choose it, and he gets like 16 cents or something. And then you obviously have to buy the ingredients, but then the chef's arms will make you his food or whatever. So you are headed towards like that stuff you're talking about where like everything's taken care of for you. Like that's on the way, which is going to be wild. We're going to be like
terrifying.
I used to walk outside to poo. What are you talking about? The bathroom's inside. You kids are spoiled. And you're going to be like, no one's going to, legitimately, you're going to turn into those old men that you might not have interacted with when you were like a child. You know?
Oh my God, I'm scared now.
Yeah.
I just got scared.
You'd be like, we used to make eggs ourselves.
Because it's going to be...
There's something to it.
Because it's not just going to be arms that like do... It's going to be like a hologram of Gordon Ramsay in your kitchen. And then it's going to be... Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And then porn stars in bed.
Oh, yeah, it's true. I forgot about that.
Sex with the robots. I mean, I'm sorry. My mind is...
you went right to porn star robots. I like it.
Well, sex defines technology. It always has.
Yeah,
it's why we killed
That's why the internet happened.
That's why the internet happened. It's because of porn. So we're going to have that, and then we're going to have, bathroom attendants, robots that'll take care of you, and then we're going to have robot comedians, and we're done. Robot podcast.
Dwayne Reed.
There's going to be a robot
comedian.
There's a robot listening. There's a robot listening to this podcast,
right
listening
now.
to every podcast, and putting out
A robot tear goes down the side of his robot face. It goes, one day
I will do a podcast too. Hello, everybody.
My people are on the come up.
Do you want to plug anything?
I like to plug everything.
My guest today in my bedroom.
Yeah.
I bought a fancy desk so people don't know that my bed is 2 feet away from this. But this is my podcast studio.
Talking about fucking up at your job, have you ever had any like giant fuck ups? We always talk about that on the show.
No, I really...
At the furniture store?
I've been trying to get fired from my furniture job for 2 years, but I work completely alone, so there's no
no way it could happen.
There's no oversight.
Yeah.
But in that, I've been telling a joke about trying to get fired and getting high every day.
Yeah.
And how that I thought it would help me get fired. Turns out,
do you lie down
just
at
makes
some point
me a
during the
better
day on
furniture salesman. I don't. I lounged. I got caught sitting on the couch one time, and I got yelled at for that.
I can't believe that you said you at all mentioned getting high and didn't. I don't even know how I wouldn't lie down on something.
It's hard.
It's insane.
That's truly the greatest struggle of a furniture salesman is to not lie down on the couch. And I'm like sitting up in a chair and I'm like, ooh, that couch looks good.
Always a bride, never a bridesmaid.
But I
you never get to use the furniture.
My boss saw this joke about me saying I want to get fired. I'm high every day. And one boss, I got two. One was like, if you can do it, good for you. Like, if you can get high, that's fine. And I was like, don't challenge me.
Yeah.
Like,
I will do it.
Fire me. How much more do I have to say? And the other boss got mad because in the joke, I say, when I'm high, I'm just lounging. I can say I'm lounging on the couch. So then I had this meeting. They had this meeting where they set me down and they go, okay, so you can't lounge on the couch. And the fact that they said lounge, quote, I'm like, oh, they're referencing the joke.
Yeah.
Because they don't see me.
They don't see you.
I work
Yeah,
there
yeah.
alone. They're just assuming that I'm always lounging on the couch. Nothing about being high.
You're right.
And I've been trying.
We're cool if if you're on drugs. We just don't want you on drugs on the furniture.
Yeah, just just sit in the shitty chair that we have you sit in behind the computer.
No problem.
You can't just hang out. But anyway, I've been trying so hard to get fired, but when they had that lounging interview,
meeting with you,
where they yelled at me. They also asked me. They go, I swear to God, and they go, do you see yourself having a future in furniture?
That's great.
And I lied to
Why?
keep a job I don't want.
Why?
Talk about the biggest fuck up at a job. I went, yeah, I kind of do.
No.
I go, at comedy, that's a lottery. It's a lottery ticket. It's hard to, I don't know how to make it. I do think this could be my career. I could see myself being a furniture salesman for a very long time. And
You're trying to get your girlfriend to break up with you. She give you the out, and you went, no, babe, I love you.
That has happened so many times.
Oh, yeah.
No, let's stay together.
Being alone is scarier than continuing this thing that I know won't work. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I don't know if I can get unemployment if I go, yeah, I hate this job.
Yeah, you have to get fired,
now I've told them and whatever. But
you told them, you go, guys, I want unemployment. That's the reason.
How can we do this?
Yeah.
How can this work?
How about a slip and fall? You cool with that? A couple banana
I
peels.
figured it out this last week. I've been so miserable about this job. I've hated it. I'm like, I have to get out. I have to quit. I can't be a furniture salesman. I have to be a comedian, right? Like, and even though it's just a day job I don't care about, I'm such a method actor that I started believing it. I'm like, I do have a future in furniture.
Yeah.
I had a fantasy where I'm married and I have kids and I live in the suburbs and my kids are the background on my phone and I look at them and I'm like, this is why I'm a furniture salesman. For them, it's a nightmare that I lived. I lived this fantasy.
That's wild,
but it's also
dude.
fine. It would have been totally fine.
That's fucking wild.
I don't need any more.
Your kid gets on the couch. You go, the couch paid for this house. You get off those couches, okay?
The couch paid
That's
for
what
this
paid
couch,
for all
paid
of
for the
this.
house.
You turn into a real dark father all of a sudden.
I'm trying to get my kid into furniture. I'm like, this is a chaise lounge.
You know what I gave up for this family? They're like, oh God, Dad's yelling again.
Every day I sell a stool. I'm like, the stool. How I miss the stool.
I want.
Oh, I used to just be next to the stools.
Yeah.
But this last week I had a huge. I was freaking out. Really, I'm gonna quit. I have to quit. I have to do my own thing. And then I realized I don't give a shit if these people yell at me. Right? I don't.
Right.
I did.
Well,
but I have to stop.
That's a great moment.
Whatever.
When you go to any job, and I've talked about this before, is just the second you don't care.
Yeah.
It's so freeing to be like, oh, I don't. You can say whatever you want to me.
Exactly.
You're literally Bill Murray in Groundhog's Day after he goes, I'm going to do whatever I want.
Absolutely.
Or whatever. When he starts driving the car over he's like, I'm not going to let them tell me what to do anymore.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is great.
It's amazing. It really.
That's probably my favorite moment in any movie when he says that. You go, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I can just not answer my boss's phone call when she calls.
Yeah.
And what you have to, where they don't, because I've been doing this 2 years now. They don't know that I'm still there. I'm still going in early. I'm still staying the whole time.
Right.
I'm not taking lunch. It's stupid.
It's stupid.
Because I'm a prisoner to what? To
what?
who?
To nothing.
I'm an
To your own
adult
head.
now,
Yeah, you can do whatever the
and
fuck
I'm
you
doing
want.
whatever the fuck I want.
You're an uncle.
And I want to sell furniture.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. I don't want to sell furniture. I hate furniture.
You don't want to sell furniture.
I don't want to sell furniture.
You have to get in therapy.
I really have to get to therapy.
And your therapist should just sit there and go, you don't want to sell furniture, Robert.
Want furniture. This is a nice couch I'm lying on.
I like this
I
couch.
could sell this.
Everywhere you go, you just can't stop saying it to people.
I swear to God, that was my come down.
You know what I could get for that ottoman?
That was my freak out. I was in North Carolina a week and a half ago, and I was on the beach, and I was like, I'm just going to enjoy this. I was doing the Cape Fear Comedy Fest with Dead Crow, and then I was like, I got an email from work, and they were yelling at me. It was my vacation day.
Yeah.
And my boss is like, you didn't do enough activity or an outreach to sell furniture. And I was like, ah.
Yeah.
And then I'm walking this beautiful beach town in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I'm fucking swearing at Adirondack chairs. You know how bad it is when furniture triggers you? That's when you know you have. I'm like, fuck, I want no furniture. My future is going to be furnitureless.
Because you go, this is the thing that's been pissing me off the whole time.
I have to see
You're
it.
projecting.
I'm projecting.
You're projecting, yeah.
Teak,
that happens to
my
friends
issue's not
a
with
lot.
teak furniture.
Yeah.
It's not with the wood teak. It's with my terrible bosses and this
There's
awful confident.
I'm gonna make a big generalization. I don't care. This I think this happens a lot with women as they hit 25 years old. They've been on enough dates with guys where they've done something crazy, and I noticed every one of my friends I went to college with, I was friends with five or six women. We all lived together in a house, and I would be like, oh, I went out with this girl, and like she did this weird thing or whatever, and I noticed the second they hit 25, and I would tell them the story, they'll be like, yeah, but like, you know, maybe she thought that you thought, like immediately we're like, and I'm like, I go, oh, you've dealt with so many crazy men at this point.
Yeah.
You're not even hearing my story. You're just putting yourself and being like, well, that's not maybe what happened. And you go, oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
You have like PTSD from the situation.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think a lot more things are universal than, like, I know that this is the case with women, and I assume it's also the case with men. Although I think there's a lower bar set for men. But you ever go home with someone and on the way back they're like, I'm so sorry, my room is a mess.
Yeah, sure.
You know, that's the
Sure.
constant, oh, my room is a mess. And then you get there and it's like, it's fine. You know, like,
Yeah,
oh, your
yeah.
bed isn't made. And then
Yeah.
you have that funny, like, this isn't a mess. You should see my hellhole. You
Right.
see the shit I live in. I did recently go home with a woman who was like, my place is a mess. And I swear to God it was. There was a broken birdhouse. This is a New York City apartment. There was a broken
That's wild.
birdhouse on the
That's crazy,
floor.
dude.
I don't know why was she building a birdhouse.
That's a lot.
It was a
broken
lot.
birdhouse.
It was a lot.
I've never dealt with that. I've had that's one time I went to a girl's place many years ago, and the dog I think had some kind of surgery.
Oh.
So a cute little French bulldog, but like there was like those little pee pads.
Yeah.
She had them like everywhere, and there was blood on all of them. And I was like, hey, maybe let's hang out again later this week. And she goes, okay. She goes, is it all the blood everywhere? And I go, no.
That's a good line.
I go,
That's
no.
a nice
I go,
line.
no, the dog had surgery. It's got to heal.
Totally.
But let's hang out later this week. I go,
Oh, God.
I just couldn't look at it. I was like, it was just freaking me out. I was like
Was
drunk.
it all
and
the blood in my apartment?
yeah. I go, you just said the sentence. And honestly, I would have been okay maybe.
Yeah.
Until she said the sentence the way she said the sentence. You know what I mean? Like, if you just said, is it because it's a mess? And I'd be like, no, you know what? It's fine. Like, I can just hang. Maybe I would have, like, broke. But when she said, is it because of all the blood in my apartment?
Right.
I was like, you said blood in my... You didn't even make the dog be responsible for the blood. It's
like
an open-ended statement.
so
I'm out.
So you know... And you're not doing anything to correct it.
Right,
That's
right.
my... I'm big into self-improvement. I'm trying my best. I moved out of the basement, and I'm
Right.
really working on it.
And this is
bettering
like-
myself. If you know something's a problem and you're not doing anything about
Right.
it, that's a problem.
And then
be like, I'm sorry for all these broken birdhouses. It's like, well, then fix them and get them out there. These homeless birds need a place to live, and you're hoarding broken
Broken birds, yeah.
Where are the birds?
And then I
Where
hear
are the birds?
I hear my friends. Well, now they're not like that at all. But some of them are married or whatever. But I still hear my friends being like, "Broken birdhouse, blood everywhere." Like maybe she was just busy getting ready for you. And you're like, what? What are
Yeah.
you talking about?
Yeah.
You're not hearing my story. There's blood everywhere.
There's blood everywhere.
There's blood everywhere. It's crazy. But yeah, I had so much fun. We went to
Also,
a comics birthday party.
Not the guy. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta get into this.
Well, yeah, we went to a comics birthday party. Rob said the fucking wildest thing I've ever had anyone say to me in my life drunk. This guy just leans over. Just
Wait a
laughs.
minute.
This is so
Let's
funny.
plug
This
her,
was
Steph
so
Tolev.
funny. Oh, Steph Tolev. So funny.
So funny.
Love her. She was in town. It was her birthday. We went to out in East Village.
Yeah.
Went to a bar down there. And
I was going through some things.
You were
and
going through some things.
I was,
Were you? I don't think you were like weird or anything. I just thought what you said was super funny. You didn't seem off.
I wasn't even that drunk or that high, but
No.
I was certainly partying. But
Yeah.
I think earlier that day I was like, I was hanging out with another friend, Andy Haynes, outside, and I was just
Yeah, I
like,
saw
I gave him
Andy.
the wild-eyed, like, he's like, how are you, man? I'm like, "Yeah, we're working on it. And then I'm
Yeah.
hanging out with dumb friends and getting drunk,
Yeah.
and we're having a good time. And
We
what
had a
did I
great
say?
time. This guy leans over to me and just out of nowhere. You kind of laugh and you go, I don't know. Okay. I go, this is funny. I go, yeah, man. I mean, it's not like we don't want to fuck our moms, right? I was like, what?
Oh my
You go,
God.
it's all edible. I go,
It is all
there's
edible.
loud music. And I go, what?
And then I dragged it
Oedipus.
out of you. I
You
got
wanted to have
pissed
sex
at
with his
you.
mom.
I got
And go,
so pissed at you.
I go, what are you talking about?
You wouldn't
And go-
engage with
You
this.
go, what do you mean? What am I talking about? We want to fuck our moms.
We want to fuck our moms. We want to fuck our moms. We want to
And
kill
I
our
was like,
dads.
I don't understand what's happening right now.
Have you not? read this?
I have read it.
Do you not know
Robert,
this?
It has nothing to do with me disagreeing with what you said. It just came out. There was no context to it. You just said it.
Yes.
And I was just like,
Because
what?
I'm curious on what Mrs. Rasso is like and
was
what
one
parts
of the
of her
wildest-
you want to fuck.
I'm not even.
What about your mom are you so attracted to? How much is your girlfriend right now like your mom? Tell me the truth. I don't want to stand around and be like, would you watch on Netflix? I don't give a shit.
Dude,
I want to talk about how everyone wants to fuck their parents.
the best.
That's conversation.
It's my favorite memory of any party I've ever been at in my life.
I'm so happy
and will
to
be
give you
moving
that.
forward. And you gave me this
I love
beautiful
how you
gem.
still don't want to talk about it.
No,
we're in a
it's
podcast
not-
right now.
it has
All
nothing-
we could do is
I'll-
get into how you want to fuck
I
your
will
mom.
totally talk about it.
You
okay?
will.
I will talk about it.
What do you want to?
But
do you want to
before we talk about it, I just want to say I didn't. You know, people are having all these conversations. It's the last. It honestly would have been the last thing I would have been like, "What is Robert going to say to you? What topic will we discuss?"
Yes.
I could have guessed a lot of out
Star
there
Trek.
topics. I could have guessed. I could have been like, you could have said something. I'm like, wow, I just found out this guy's racist or something. I would have been like, that
Right.
would have been, if you said something racist, that would have been more
Like, hey
predictable.
man, here's my impression of Chinese food restaurants. You'd be like, yeah, that
I'm
makes
like, wow,
sense.
that was weird.
That
I
sounds
guess
about right.
I don't know,
That
he's-
is what it's like when I call them.
Not that self-aware, this guy. Okay, why is he doing that? That would have been more normal though than me.
Normal.
Being
Throwing
like-
normal out.
not normal, but it would have been more predictable to me than like it was just so out of like it just caught me by the most surprise anything's ever caught me in my
Yeah.
life to lean over and go, so you both want to fuck our moms?
Well,
right?"
okay,
I've never had a conversation.
I don't know how many
about
times I
this.
have to say I lived in a basement, but I haven't been a person. I've only been a person recently, so I'm learning all this shit. Like I
Yeah.
just went to therapy, and I
Right.
was like, I gotta tell
everybody.
everyone. Did you know this?
You're so.
Did
okay.
you know this?
You want to talk about Oedipal?
I do want to talk about
Just
that.
go up to somebody. I mean, it was almost like we were just online at a bar and like we're friends and everything, but like it's almost like we're just
But,
there. But like you know,
We're not.
th-
We're not
we didn't-
close enough
we didn't-
friends.
We are
'cause
close enough.
We haven't talked
You-
about how you want to fuck your mom. Can we even define ourselves
you-
as friends?
and you
I don't
really-
know your mom. I was hoping you'd bring up a picture and be like, "Oh, look
you
at
really-
this sexy piece."
But he didn't even. You didn't even ask. You really projected on me that I wanted to fuck my mom.
whoa.
You go, we want to fuck our moms, right?
I don't.
You don't.
I don't.
Wow. All
I know.
right.
Isn't that interesting?
What?
I don't want to have sex
You
with
brought
my
it
mom.
up.
I don't want to kill my dad.
Oh
but
my
you
god!
did.
No, my god! I don't even say any of this. You brought it up to me. You go. I mean, we both want to fuck our moms, right? You want to fuck your mom. I didn't say anything to you to even, prompt this conversation. But I mean,
You seem like a man who's thought about it.
what? Fucking my mom?
Yes. Even now you're getting like giddy and like nervous because you're realizing like, yeah, she is the perfect woman. And you're realizing how much your girlfriend reminds you of her.
No, I thought that it's a super easy realization I've had from when I was like young. I was like, oh, my mom is like this type of person, and I go after. I seem to be attracted to women that have similar personality traits to my mom. And
Yeah.
but I've known that since I was like 18. Like it's not like a thing. I go, oh,
Oh, I'm sorry. I just learned
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm sorry that I'm like
You never saw
I have, like,
similarity
the
between-
freshman college level thoughts.
I've literally dated-
I'm walking around being like, I don't know if God is real. Like I'm an idiot. I am a dumb guy who's just making these realizations.
Do you think the
now.
government is like controlling us? Corporations are bad, right?
Do you guys ever think like, what's with Starbucks?
So the whole time I'm like, yeah, it's either. I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people. I would say emotionally unavailable would be a good way to describe my
Ouch.
dad.
Oh,
right?
okay.
I think it's a lot of times.
That's funny. If that were your mom, it's ouch. Emotionally unavailable as a dad, I'm like,
goes,
par for the
yeah.
course.
Yeah, everyone goes, yeah. And dad's not a big feelings guy. But I've dated both those personality types. Like my mom, I would say, is probably like a very like, not helpless type person.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like
Oh, that sounds so hot.
on top of things.
You want to fuck that.
It's funny.
You wanna fuck that helplessness.
I've not helpless.
the non-helplessness. Helpfulness.
Yeah, or like
Ooh,
just
sexy.
just in control of
your
her
mom.
life kind of person. My mom, man.
Oh,
It's so hot.
You're
It's
so
hot.
into her.
It's so
That's
hot.
your fetish.
See what you're doing? You're projecting it onto me
I'm
now.
not projecting
You 100% are.
No, I am not.
That's all
Who
you're
are you, my
doing.
therapist? I'm not projecting.
I mean,
this
we
on
want to
you.
have sex with our moms, right? Come on. But you know, it's funny. I had this realization like years later. I think I've dated probably 4 or 5 women that were all point guards on their high school basketball team.
Wow, no,
and
that's
I find out later. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
That
I
is
just like
weird.
it's like I think I just am attracted. Like, it's like a personality type. I've also dated like
Take charge, leading.
I don't know what it means. I haven't really tried
how
to make
is
too much
sex like
of
you,
it.
like a 5-on-5 game of basketball. And she's coming. She's taking the ball.
There's
in.
fingers everywhere, baby. Come on, you got to
She's taking the ball.
guard.
She's figuring out how to pass. She's calling the plays.
Sorry, someone else do this, please. She
You're just a center. You're just standing down low,
well-
waiting for rebounds.
I don't know anything about sports, so
Really?
yeah.
Nothing about basketball.
No.
Oh man, you're
Buddy, I'm
missing
watching
out.
Star Trek. You think I know about basketball?
You seem like a basketball guy.
You know, this is where people
Basketball guy
are
wants
wrong.
to fuck his mom.
This,
Like I love the Knicks and the desire to fuck my mom.
Yeah, I thank you for throwing the word desire in there. It was nice when they're just saying I want to fuck my mom.
Yeah, no, that you have the
You
desire
made it like a thing,
to.
yeah. My and then artists, I've dated a couple girls I've like, but my mom's not really artistic, so I don't know where that is. But yeah,
What
because you
about
notice
looks?
certain things. I tend to date like girls with like lighter colored hair. I guess that's the only kind of thing.
Just like your mom.
My mom does have lighter colored hair. Yeah.
Now we know where it's coming
But she's
from.
more. She has like brown hair. I like date blonde women. I don't know.
How many have
more
met
often
her?
than not? No
How many-
offense to
how many-
anyone. It just
how many
what
of your
happens. I don't
girlfriends
know.
have met your mom and done the mirror? We're the same.
Every single one. Every single one of my girlfriends has met my mother and been like, "We are the same person."
I get it now.
She pulls out a picture. She's like, "Look, this is me as a child." And she's like, "No, it's not. You pulled that out of my purse. That's me from 2 weeks ago." It's like a creepy horror movie, but it's just like a romantic comedy with my mom and my girlfriend. I love what you've done here.
What have I done here?
You
Talk to you as a person.
we
broken
started
through this
no.
bullshit Star Trek talk.
We
Don't
started
want to
out.
talk about Star Trek.
I bring it up and I go, you said we want to fuck our moms, and you turned it into me actually wanting to fuck my mom. You took it, you ran with it, and now it's happened, and it's great. And I'm very happy we're here.
I am too.
Yeah. I don't think there's any other thing. So, and then emotion. Have you seen anything that's like similar between traits between your girlfriends that you've dated and like? It doesn't have to be your mom. It could be somebody in your family, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
Sometimes
my
it's
mom,
not your parents. Sometimes it's just like an older person that was around.
My dad has depression. My mom has anxiety, and I'm a beautiful combination of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And I've certainly identified like my mom's anxiety in others, in women,
Yeah.
and been like, oh, this is so hot. You know, like even like, ooh, complain to me on the phone, like
Okay.
that. I don't know why that. I mean, it's edible, but that's that's really interesting to me. My mom also watched The Nanny when I was growing up. And my mother like took on that. We're from Connecticut. She's Lebanese and Armenian and Christian, but like she watched The Nanny. It was just like, I'm gonna be a Jewish woman from Long Island. And like took on that persona. So I have found myself very attracted to Jewish women from Long Island, but mostly because I want at my wedding
Who talk like Fran Drescher?
Who talk like Fran Drescher?
Yeah.
I mean that's the dream.
I mean, she's beautiful.
Leopard print
And funny.
I want to get Hava Nagila. That's I don't want to like push it on, you know, like if I marry, you know, someone who's not religious. I mean, if I kind of ideally want to marry a Jewish woman so we could do it. I don't know. It feels wrong to like if I marry like a you know Christian or atheist or whatever, any other non-Jewish person. It feels weird to be like, and now we're gonna do the Hava Nagila. You know, like I don't think we can.
Yeah.
You
You're
know,
like, I want to work this in, guys, if that's okay.
like I'd have to pick a different song. Like I
Yeah.
think I could still get to
do the chairs.
Like,
Yeah.
hey guy, like I really want that. It looks like so much fun.
It does look like a lot of fun. Yeah.
So I think
You should be able to do all of it. I don't know why
Ideally-
people don't do that. That'd be fun.
Never.
No one ever does out of their culture weddings. You should.
Right.
That's fun.
It's like my birthday.
I always want to do that Greek thing where they all get in a circle and they jump. It's also, I think, Russian where they jump
yeah.
up and dance and kick their legs
So
out.
much fun.
That looks like a lot of fun.
Why aren't we doing that?
I don't know.
Why aren't we using the parachute from gym class?
Who breaks?
Why is that only for gym
Who breaks
class?
the plates? that the Greeks too, or is
Hopa.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Greeks.
That's Greeks. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The glass, the Jewish
What if
glass.
I just keep naming Greek things? You're like, Case, it sounds a lot like you just
it's
want
just Greek.
a Greek. You saw my
You
big
just-
fat Greek wedding, and you just are like, that'd be a great
I
wedding.
want that.
I feel like you're subconsciously basing all of this on your desire to have my big fat Greek
Well,
wedding.
there's nothing sadder to me than a man just sitting in a chair on a dance floor waiting for people to lift him up. You know, I can't.
Hey
just
guys,
sit
huh?
there.
And everyone's like, what?
Up. Hava.
You're
Oh, I
Lebanese and
can't sing
Armenian.
it
What the hell are you
myself.
talking about? Why is this happening?
Why is this happening?
Do you have any like worst you ever fucked up at comedy? You ever like the worst show experience you ever had? That kind of thing?
I took a year. I was thinking of this on the way, and I like the worst shows are just the shows that no one is at. Right?
Sure.
Like I
Yeah.
can't really think of anything that's
The,
like
the worst shows is like sometimes where they're just not there's not people,
Yeah.
and then on top of that they're just like talking to each other and
Yep.
ignoring the show.
Yep.
Because you're not only are they not laughing, they're not laughing because you can't hold their attention. It's like this weird both things are happening at the same time where they're
Right.
like, we don't care about the show, and it's like, and you're like, well. I guess but then it's like, what do I have to talk about the things they want? You're really going to have to talk about what they want to talk about at that point to get their attention. 'Cause
Right.
at that point, they're not even willing to do that beginning part.
Yeah.
You know? So you're like, all right.
And when you're younger and dumber, you like steer. There's been shows I've like steered into it. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what's happening. Well, now you're gonna get the worst of me.
Oh.
and I'm going
yeah,
to
I just mean like also
crash this plane into
like,
the mountain. You
yeah,
know?
like just like bad audience member also, or like maybe someone give you a bad intro, or like
there was
you know,
one
that
guy
kind
who
of thing.
yelled eyebrows at me every 5 seconds at a show.
Wow.
The whole and I dealt with it. This is like actually one of my best, and
Yeah.
I've talked about it on stage. He goes eyebrows. He was the only guy in the crowd, like a drunk Polish guy.
It's a really funny thing
which
to
I was
keep
like,
saying.
Dad, and he goes eyebrows at me, and he was literally the only guy. It was at this place called the Cove in Williamsburg. I think became
Yeah.
Hugs,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
long
I know.
bunker looking
Yeah.
thing, and there was no one in it, so it felt extra empty. He was sitting at the bar, eyebrows. So I literally, I go, sir, what's your name? And he went, eyebrows. And I was like, oh, where are you from? He goes, eyebrows. And then I went, oh, when you go to a store but you're not sure you're going to buy anything, what do you do? And he went, eyebrows. And I was
That's
like,
great.
that's brilliant.
That's
but there
so
was
great.
no one there to appreciate
That's
it.
so great,
Like, even
dude.
the comics were like
Wow.
outside smoking cigarettes. And I was just like, okay,
Come
this
on.
is just for you now.
Yeah, just for
and
you.
he just kept saying
And you're
eyebrows.
crazy,
And I'm
yeah.
like, and I started screaming, you know. I do love when at times when when I crack on stage, it's very fun, but it has to be natural. I can't
Right.
like force it. But actually in North Carolina, crowd this couple in the front, it was their first date, and they're on a first date.
Yeah.
And at one point, late in the show, late in my set, she like shows him her phone. And I was like, what the fuck are you showing him? And she goes, I'm showing him a picture of my sister's dog. And everything in
Wow.
me cracked, and I saw red, and I'm just like, get a personality.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
the worst thing I've ever heard. To be like, he's kind of like my nephew. And I'm like, and you couldn't wait.
You couldn't wait
And then
a
I
few
always
minutes.
do the whole like,
Yeah.
you know how hard it is to be a comedian. I traveled from New York. I've been pursuing this my whole life. Wah.
yeah.
Awful.
Yeah.
I'm a bad person.
No, you're not. That's infuriating.
fine.
And you're on stage and you're like, what is that? And you go, oh, I just like some new font I thought about using. You're like, what? Could it be a more boring thing? You're
Right.
like, we're just going to compare this to what we're seeing.
Yeah, what are you
go,
doing?
Jesus
What are you
Christ.
doing? They were the worst. But the worst, I can't like think of like a fuck up. I did take a year off of comedy after a particularly bad heckle, but I was a young boy. I was 20, 21.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
And
so this is like right when you started, you did this. Okay.
I had been doing it like I did it through college.
Yeah.
One of my but I was also in college. I was a poetry major. I was like trying to be defiant in my own way, rebellious. I went to one open mic, and it was like senior night at the bar on campus at Fairfield University, and they were all getting drunk, and music is playing, and they're dancing, they're having fun, and they're like, all right, and now something completely different, and they bring me up, and I go,
It's like pre-Dane Cook.
this is right around. Okay, so
Because let's
my
paint the
first
picture.
act-
There's a very specific comedy time in the world.
Yes,
yeah, that's
my
happening.
first act was Dane Cook.
Okay.
I mean, my first open mic, I got a standing ovation, which is insane
That is
and
insane.
ruined me. But it was very like I was doing jokes at the Hamburglar instead of Burger King, you know, and like there was, I think in one joke I said face in the way that Dane says
yeah,
face,
yeah,
and I was hitting like everything like that. But then in college, I got a little bit more like I'm gonna be experimental, I'm gonna be more alt.
Right.
So I went up with a TV guide, and I went, we all make choices in life, and I'd like to identify the choices we made by coming here. These are the things we missed. And I just opened it up and I read, it's totally Great Gatsby, Andy Kaufman. I just read down the TV guide, and there was one guy laughing hysterically, slamming the table. Everyone else is like, what the fuck is this?
That? Yeah.
One guy in the back goes, this is why Andy Kaufman is dead. I'm like, that'll be the greatest heckle I've ever got. This drunk girl comes up to me and she goes, what are you doing? Like into the microphone, because there was no stage. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I just have a few more to get through.
I'm almost done.
And then I ended in like few people clapped and that was it. And I pretended to be upset just like for the audience. Like the show was continuing for me.
Yeah.
But as soon as so then like the drunk girl comes up to me and she goes,
that's wild.
what were you I didn't get it. and I was like acting like I was like crying, and my friend goes, he just like put a lot of thought into that show. And then we walk home and I'm like it was the funniest thing in the world
so
to me.
great.
Like to
Yeah,
play
that's really
a prank.
funny. Yeah,
it
to
was
play a prank is
so much fun.
That's a funny thing is like you go outside of the city and do comedy sometimes. And, you know, I've had this experience where I have jokes I like to do and sometimes they kind of don't work in certain crowds, and you go, I guess it's not me. It's just like that. It's like that type of person that's like, I don't get it. And you're like, I need this to be attached to a theme or premise that I already agree with.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So it's like, you know, whatever it is, like, I'm not going to spend a lot of money, or kids suck, or, you know, whatever, shit like that, where you go, all right, we can agree with these types of things.
Right.
Flying on an airplane sucks. You know, that's stuff that like everyone's like done.
Yeah.
And you go, we do a joke about that. People really that don't know you go, yeah, all right.
Totally.
Yeah.
And my whole
like an
joke, my whole
obscure
joke was, fuck you guys, I'm gonna eat time.
Right.
While you want music, like they're not gonna be in on that.
No.
Although the drunk girl did go, she goes, I missed the beginning. Like if that had it. Oh,
great.
now I get it. She said like, haha, this is so funny.
That would be so hilarious.
Oh my god, he's reading the TV. I get it.
He reads the TV guide and then let me hear the beginning again. That is hilarious.
So funny.
You didn't give her a chance, man.
I didn't give her a chance, but that was just such a shitty thing to be like, fuck you guys, this is I'm gonna eat your time while you just want music. But like I've done that
That's
at
fine.
a number of music mics where I'm like, this is what you get.
I have a weird story I used to tell that I basically stopped telling, that like, you know, I kind of can feel the situation when it would work, and it's usually like a very like pot like weed type crowd. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I told a story about going to Central Park. I found and I've talked about this on the podcast before. I'm not going to go through the story because I've said it before, but I found a baby alone in the park in a stroller, and with the dog that was attached to the baby. The dog took a shit all over the baby. Nobody showed up, and I didn't know how to like deal with the situation. I told the story, and then these people looked at me like, what the fuck is this kid talking about? My wife's a bitch. Can you acknowledge it?
Are we fucking? No one's asked
That's what I call it when you leave. Yeah.
No
Are you guys
one's
fucking?
asked us. Please,
I go,
thank you,
my
finally.
wife is a bitch material. And then the girl goes, I am a bitch. And they love it.
They love that.
But this was great. Thank you so much for doing it.
Oh,
had a
my
great
God.
time. Yeah. Robert B. Dean.
Jesus Christ.
Huh?
That was a quick exit.
That was a quick exit.
Gee, wow.
Well, we're not exiting yet. We're, just slowly getting in there. Yeah.
Okay.
But,
Yeah.
Robert B. Dean.
Robert B. Dean on Instagram.
Instagram. Where can people find you?
Instagram.
Yeah.
Mostly Instagram. I also work at the New York Design Center as a furniture salesman.
Yeah.
Which come visit me, watch me on.
Exactly. I really want you guys to visit him. Please. That'd be fucking awesome.
Do. Inside Jokes on Amazon. I have an album that's somewhere in the world. And I'll be.
What's your album?
It's called It's Not Easy Being Dean.
It's Not Easy Being Dean.
It's Not Easy Being Dean.
There you go.
It's on Spotify and iTunes and all of those things.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I did it. I released it last year, and
Awesome.
Yeah.
Where'd you record?
Where did I record?
Yeah.
New York Comedy Club.
Oh, very nice. Okay, cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I did it at the Gramercy for like the New
great
York
location,
Comedy
yeah.
Fest. It was amazing. It was so great. And yeah, I hate it now.
Of course, everyone hates
because I
everything.
listened. Well, I also fucked up, and I made a dance remix of it on GarageBand. So I like listen. Like not only did I like
Rob, people are loving your album. Fans are flocking to your social media. People want to see you, and then you go, "I'm gonna make it into like a music thing now."
Yeah,
I don't want to take the whole thing away.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do the reading the TV guide version of my act now.
I put the sound clips into a keyboard on the computer, just so that like, and then I played a dance beat on GarageBand, and then it was just like Mr. Peanut. Mr. Peanut, Hamburglar, Mr. Peanut, Hamburglar, ha 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 ha. It's a beautiful.
That's great.
But I mean, listen to the stand-up album. I think
please.
first.
Yeah.
And but the dance remix is really.
The dance remix sounds hilarious.
Something good.
That's pretty cool. And if you guys, I'm on all social media at Kase Rosso.
You think there's people who don't know your social media or listening to this podcast?
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of
Kase
times,
with a K.
KaseRasso. Yeah, a lot of people that listen to podcasts, they don't.
That's got a beautiful
ring. Do you
ring
look up
to
everybody that you listen to? I don't. I'm not saying that accusingly. I'm saying I'm asking generally. I don't think.
No, it's really nice. Yeah. Obviously, if you're listening to this, follow Kase at KASE RASO.
Yeah, and also,
guys,
I don't necessarily want to have sex with anyone's mom. Guys, it's been fun.
No one's mom.
That's bullshit. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.